my buddy, CNBC contributor Don Luskin of Trend Macro. All right, Don Luskin, I want to go to you because this is a humongous rally kind of coming out of the blue. Especially, I was thinking about you today. We were looking up when it was that President Obama recommended the long-term purchase of stocks. I think he's the investment strategist in chief. And it turns out it's March 3rd, just a few days before this whole market turned up. Now, are you joining Mr. Obama in this long-term bull market call?
Look, he got it right for that moment in time. Stocks were incredibly cheap, but the problem is, we've had a 20% rally since then, or at least since the Friday of that week. So are stocks still cheap? Would he still say that? Well, yeah, I suppose he'd probably say that, but with stocks already up 20%, it's not true. So what are you going to do for me lately? Are we going to have a charm offensive that's more offensive than charming? We're going to have banks come to the White House and hat in hand and say, please don't take our bonuses away. And Obama will, talk purdy to him as long as his teleprompter's working. But the reality is it's the Congress who's going to decide that. So you tell me what the upside in this market is in a world like that. I don't see it at this point.
All right. Fair enough. Luskin, let me ask you this. Stimulus. Let's talk stimulus for a minute. One of our favorite subjects. Is this the Obama Keynesian government spending stimulus, or might it be the old-fashioned Milton Friedman punch liquidity in and grow the money stimulus? Which might be driving the economy closer to recovery, at least according to this stock market rally?
Well, I think it's clearly the Fed. Monetary policy is extraordinarily loose. That's got to be working. They are dumping money from both sides of the helicopters. Now, this Keynesian stimulus, it's a bad idea to begin with, and they haven't even implemented it well. Has one you know where that stimulus money is going? If you look at it on a per capita basis, you know what state in the union has the highest per capita stimulus inflow? Washington, D.C. It's about $1,050 per capita. The average per capita across all 50 states plus Washington is $540. So,
we really
this
haven't
ain't going to work. But
really
thank God for the Fed.
Not a dime of the stimulus has been paid out yet. Not a dime of the tax credits have been paid out yet.
Right.
But on the same token, Don, the marginal tax rate hikes on investors and successful earners hasn't happened yet either. So I'm just wondering, what about the argument that there's a second-half economic recovery? And what about the related argument that this rally here in March, which kind of came out of the blue, is forecasting that second-half recovery? Because that would be at least cyclically very bullish for stocks.
Well, I don't doubt it. There's just scads of evidence that things have at least stopped going down and some things have stabilized and started to get better. You remember where we were 3 months ago? You couldn't get anybody on this show to say that we weren't going straight to zero. So at least we've stabilized, and that's a start. That's terrific. But, Larry, look, let's think ahead a year or two. You know what's going to happen 2 years out. All of a sudden, the Treasury's not going to find the whole world throwing money at it anymore. We're going to have to start rolling over some of this debt that was so easy to spend this year, $787 billion in stimulus. That debt is going to come due in a couple years. How are we going to refinance it? It's the world's largest teaser mortgage. And then tax rates are going to go up.
All right. By the way, this Volcker Tax Commission scares me. This is left-wing anti-corporate tax reform. It's going to be a revenue-raising witch hunt. So own the gold itself?
I own the bullion index, and I own the gold itself, and I own the managed stock companies.
Where do you put the gold? Do you put it in your home, in your den, in your dining room? Where do you put it?
The clients.
Don't answer that on television, Don. Don't answer that.
Own it, and they put it in their home.
All right, Don Luskin, you probably agree with Don Bennett, don't you, this big gold play?
Yeah, I do. It's not just gold, though. It's oil, it's copper. Larry, if you take financials out of the S&P 500, the materials sector has been the best performing sector. It is absolutely the way to go. You mentioned Freeport McMoran. That's my best idea stock. It's doubled in the last 6 weeks. You got to love this stuff.
All right, everybody.